Brian, we are live in Terrace Heights. I can tell you that the protesters from the Westboro Baptist Church packed up just about 5 minutes ago. They were across the street, maybe about a half dozen of them, packed up, and that was fine with the supporters on the other side of the street, people cheering as soon as those protesters started to pack up their signs and then drive away. These supporters actually even broke out in a chorus of "God Bless America." I can tell you that the supporters grossly, vastly outnumbered the protesters. There are now hundreds of people out here supporting the troops and supporting the family of Army Sergeant First Class Larry Morrison. One particular supporter that I wanted to share with you today was a guy that I've seen at several of the funerals around the valley here. He's been to, I think, all 6 here in the valley, and he says that he's been to over 50 along the West Coast. He's a photographer who wants to take pictures as sort of his tribute to the troops and their family.
Up today, I mean, this is, all 50 that I've gone to, I have not seen this, and it's just got my blood boiling. I just stopped pacing because I just wanted to express myself. But I got to keep my cool. They would be very angry. I mean, come on, at least have some respect for the family. I don't care what you think about the military. You show some respect for the family and the deceased. They don't even have that. That's sad. And they call themselves a church.
Back live now in Terrace Heights. That's the scene here. Supporters still sticking around for this funeral that's supposed to get underway in about 15 minutes inside the chapel at Keith & Keith Funeral Home here in Terrace Heights before another separate private graveside service this afternoon. Supporters sticking around. The protesters have taken off. That's the scene here in Terrace Heights. Brian, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Anthony. Again, the funeral service for First Class Sergeant Lawrence Morrison at 11 o'clock this morning. In about 15 minutes at the Keith & Keith Funeral Home. Soldiers from overseas also making their way to the funeral home to pay their respects to Sergeant First Class Morrison. There you see them there arriving at the funeral home for the funeral service set to begin in about 15 minutes. Of course, the controversial church from Kansas, while they were protesting outside of the funeral home earlier, they have now left. And Operation Thank You, the group protesting alongside the Morrison family, trying to be there in support of them and against this controversial church group from Kansas, has now taken over the sidewalk where the church group was, closer to the funeral home. We'll have breaking news updates on our website and much more. Another report, a live report, coming up at 11 o'clock right here on KNDO.